Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. So today is making it the second day we fixed this cam feeder. As you can see, this is different from the other feeder that I was using. I was using a wooden feeder which I've been using for a very long time. So I switched to this feeder, and I want to tell you what I observed the time I fixed those feeders for this chicken. So first of all, as you can see, this feeder, the opening it has will make this chicken to be pouring their feed on the ground. Like when you fill the feeder and you drop it maybe below the ground, then this chicken, they will be pouring their feed on the ground, and any feed they pour on the ground, then it is a waste. And whenever they pull on the feed that they have poured on the ground, definitely they won't feed on it again. And as you can see, you are losing, because at the end of the day, they won't give you much egg because they have poured most of their feed on the floor and they didn't feed on it. And I raised the feeder in the sense that they will be struggling a bit to feed on the feed, so that whenever they are feeding on the feeder, they will just be feeding, they will be picking the feed, not pouring it on the ground. Because whenever they are comfortable feeding on the feed, they will be pouring the feed on the ground because they are comfortable. But when they are struggling a bit to feed on the feeder, then they will just be picking the feed direct to their mouth. They won't have that opportunity to pour the feed on the ground. I raised the feeder close to 20 inches, like the height from the ground. And how I did it was, I just raise it small and see how they are feeding on it. I'll raise it again and check if they can be able to feed on it. Then wherever I feel like their strength will stop there, then I will now place the feeder like that. I will now tie it like that, and it will hang like this. They will be struggling to pick on the feed. Definitely they are going to feed very well, but they are no longer going to be pouring the feed on the floor. So that is how I solved the problem of the feeder, because I was like, maybe I've made a mistake by introducing this type of feeder, because in the other feeder, in the other wooden feeder, they don't usually pour the feed on the floor. But why I switched to this feeder is because the other feeder have become very old and I don't have enough time to maintain them. So I said, okay, let me replace them with this type of feeder while I repair those other feeders, because I'm still going to be using them in my farm. But I came to realize that they are pouring their feed on the ground while using this type of feeder to feed. So I now came with a strategy of raising it above the ground. Like even when they are playing with sawdust, they will not be able to pour sawdust in their feed. So this is how I solved the problem. And the most reason why they are able to pour the feed on the ground is because they have stayed for a very long time. And you know, we usually trim their beaks. So their beaks have grown back again, and they are now using it to pour the feed on the ground. Because the other grower chicken, they cannot be able to pour their feed on the ground using their beak, because we just debeaked them newly. And those their beak, they have not grown out, so they are not able to pour the feed on the ground. And if you check how I did the other feeder, it is close to the ground level, unlike this one that I raised up very well. But I'll keep on monitoring them. Once they start pouring their feed on the ground using their mouths, then I will now raise the feeder again. And when you don't do it this way, you will realize that after you are done giving your chicken their feed, they will pour all the whole feed on the floor, and at the end of the day, they will reduce in production because they haven't consumed those feed, and they are now wasting your money because they won't produce more eggs, and at the end of the day, you will be at loss in your farm. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I know one or two persons out there might need this information that I just shared. Make sure you raise this type of feeder above the ground level, especially if you are in Nigeria, because this is the type of feeders most of us use here in this Nigeria. And when you don't raise it like this that I've did in my farm, definitely you are going to be losing a lot of feed. Even now that I've raised it, they are still pouring them on the floor, but a little bit, unlike before that it was within the ground level. And again, I noticed that the ones I placed close to their nesting box, that is where they lay egg. If you look at my back, you will see that wooden stuff that I placed at the back. It is called a nesting box where my chicken do lay eggs. So the ones I placed close to their nesting box, whenever they are flying on top of the nesting box or whenever they are flying down from the nesting box, they usually hit the feeder, and most of the times the feeds will pour away. So what I did was I didn't place this feeder close to their nesting box so that they won't have the chance of pouring the feed away whenever they are flying up or down from their nesting box. And how I noticed all this was because I paid attention to the chicken, and I have a chicken over there that is dulling a bit. I don't really know if it is because of cold weather, but whenever you pay attention to your chicken, you will definitely know how everything is going in your farm. Anytime you feed your chicken, make sure you stay back and see how they feed on the feed. Make sure you see how they consume their water, else you are going to have a low production because you are not paying attention to them. And whenever you pay attention to their feeding, their water, and their health, you have done 80% of the important thing you are supposed to do as a farmer in order to help you to get the best result as a farmer. So this is what I just want to share with you on this video today, and I know one or two persons must have learned from this video. My advice to every poultry farmer out there is to pay attention to their chicken so that they will get the best out of it. Wherever you are watching me from, thank you for watching. My name is Collins and I am from Nigeria. I am a poultry farmer, and for all aspired poultry farmers out there, it is high time you invest big in this farm project, because whatever you do now will determine how next year will be. It is the action or the step you take now will determine how next year will be. So make sure you start your poultry farming. If you are still planning to start with any number you can afford. Like if you have a 1 million or maybe 2 million or 3 million to start, make sure you start now, because when you don't start and leave the money back in your account, definitely it is just going to be there and you will be spending the money unnecessarily. But when you start the project, you know that you have started the journey and you focus on it and put all your efforts on it so that you will be able to make profit as soon as possible through this chicken farming business or any other poultry business, instead of leaving your money back in your account. So thank you for watching once more. If you are still watching at this point and you feel like you have learned one or two things from this video, like the video and hit the subscribe button. Remember, subscription is free. You don't pay to subscribe. Just click the subscribe button below so that you will help to take this channel to 4,000 subscribers, because we are almost close to 4,000 subscribers. And for people who have subscribed, thank you all, and I'll keep on sharing with you my little experience about chicken farming here on this channel. Thank you for watching and your support. Thank you for everything, and I would like to see you in my next video. Stay safe.